hours of taught time, actual tutor to pupil time, a week. I was paying through the nose for that. Now, that's not fair, that's not right. So what we want to do is make sure that we get the best quality education at university level for those people that want to follow the university path, but for those people who want to follow a more vocational hands-on approach, that they don't have to go through university. I'll give you one example, nursing. You know, you've got the change from the state enrolled nurse to actual university means that you end up with students who, because they can afford the tuition fees, but don't know actually what the actual hands-on job with nursing is. They've got the nursing degree, but they end up being too posh to wash. So, you know, we want to make sure that where it's necessary to have people training and doing on-the-job work, we can get them, but that means taking them out from university and making sure that universities are for education, but when it comes to actual hands-on experience of the workplace, we channel that where it's needed most.
Do you think grammar schools benefit young people, and so what can they offer to students like age 16 taking their GCSEs?
Well, grammar schools, we need them. At the minute we've got a shocking disparity between the universities. At my university I went to in Nottingham, half were from public schools. That is shocking. As time's gone on, as we've seen grammar schools close and close, the number of privately educated people at our best universities as a percentage has gone up and up and up. Now, how is that fair? How does that help social mobility? How does that help people from Thurrock, where we've got some very disadvantaged communities? How does that help them? Now, actually having schools that can select on merit and ability, I'm not talking about just academic ability, but you know, we've got academies that have started to specialise sports, sciences, languages and so on. If they wanted to select according to their ability, and people who are good at languages, they should be free to do that.
Many young people are finding it hard, like myself, to find fair and equal opportunities, whether it be with apprenticeships, work experience or finding a job. Do you have any plans that will help young people find these opportunities?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question now. Because of our membership of the European Union, we're part of the single market. How many jobs do you think we advertise to unemployed EU workers?
I don't know. I would like to think
nearly 1 million. Now, have you ever had or been offered a grant to go to an interview or to resettle around the country if you wanted to find work outside of Thurrock? No. Under the European Union's Job Mobility Portal, unemployed EU workers can get grants to come and attend interviews in the UK and to resettle in the UK. That's unfair, completely unfair. So what we would do is make sure that we would put British jobs for British workers actually as a policy and not just a soundbite, so that people would be able to employ British workers first, that we wouldn't be part of a single market, so that we can actually get our youth unemployment down. Because at the minute it is a national disgrace that we have nearly 1 million young people unemployed, and an intolerable number not in education or training either. So that's what we would do first and foremost. We do not have a balanced or fair working environment, and we would seek to change that.
Yeah, what do you think the issues are in Thurrock, and how do you improve them?
Oh well, how long have you got? You know, it is a fact I'm the only local candidate on the ballot paper. I was born and brought up in Averley, and I live in Grays, and I get people complaining to me all the time that we've been left behind. The overdevelopment in the borough means our green spaces are going, and people aren't being consulted about it. The pressure that puts on local services. You know, do you feel you can get an appointment at your local GP surgery when you need it?
It's hard to get through.
Yeah, it's difficult. So sometimes GPs refer to the Grays walk-in service. Well, our MP wants that to close. The clinical commissioning group wants that to close. I do not want it to close, because if you can't go there, then it's Basildon A&E. And we already know how long waiting times are there for that. And these are issues right on our doorstep. You know, all the national issues come up time and again. You know, immigration, economy, the NHS, which is obviously related to the walk-in service. But on the ground, you know, we've got the worst air quality in Essex. London Road is atrocious with the amount of pollution there. So why Yeah, well, so why do the government want another Thames crossing in Thurrock? You know, why not put one in London? We haven't got a crossing between Tower Bridge and the Dartford crossing. Why not put it there? Why is it always us in Thurrock that has to get the brunt of all of the changes without even consulting us? You know, I wanted a referendum on the Thames crossing. You know, up in Norfolk, Kings Lynn, they had a referendum on an incinerator because there was lots of opposition to pollution and all sorts. And the referendum was held, the people had their say, and the contract was torn up. I put the question to a council leader at the consultation last year, and do you know what his reply was? I said, "Oh, I'm not sure that's legal." Well, it can be done. It's been proven to be done. You know, we should have more referendums. You know, do you feel you get the maximum opportunities to, you know, vote and have your say on what affects us here in Thurrock? No. But have you signed a petition recently?
I've had no opportunity.
No, but online, have you signed any sort of petition? Have you seen an issue where you think, yeah, I want to have my say on that?
Well, it was a couple of years ago now, but in South Ockenden, there's like a skate park got taken away, and because it got taken away, we had nowhere to go, so we started hanging around the shops again, and then people started complaining to the police and God knows what else. And I signed a petition to try and get it back, but they said we had to raise our own money for it.
Well, those petitions should force local referendums. If you get enough signatures within a set amount of time, you should be able to have your say on that. We have elections in Thurrock every 3 out of 4 years. And when people say, oh no, that will cost money, I say democracy doesn't cost money. Democracy has cost blood. People have fought and died for our freedoms to go and vote, and we should have more say. You know, I'm a councillor, hopefully I'll be your member of parliament, but you're in charge, you're my boss. So you should be the ones that say you should be doing this, and you should be taking more of the decisions. You know, we want the citizens' initiative process, which is where you petition to get referendums. It works in America, it works very well in Switzerland. So we want to have it here, so that you can say that you are the masters and I'm your servant.
Thurrock is said to be the unhappiest place in Britain.
Oh no, that makes me sad.
An average life satisfaction rate of being 7.09. Why do you think that is, and do you have any plans that will help make Thurrock a happier place?
Well, I think that we need to make Thurrock recognised again on the national stage. We had the world's camera crews down on May the 23rd when we'd won the local elections in Thurrock. We won the popular vote by quite some way, and people were just over the moon that we were bringing a positive change, that we were actually, you know, this is Thurrock. People are looking at us now. And you see with UKIP challenging the Labour Party here in Thurrock, you know, where we can win, we're one of UKIP's top target seats, that, you know, to coin the phrase, we are putting Thurrock on the map. And the issues I've told you about with the Lower Thames Crossing, with the overdevelopment, with the walk-in service, you know, like I said, you are the boss, so I can walk into Parliament, which will be a hung Parliament next year, after May, and say, look, these are my issues my constituents want. If you want me to support this, if you want me to support that, we're going to have to do a bit of bargaining, because it's just not good enough. We have been let down so many times in Thurrock. We've been promised schools and they're not delivered. We've been promised referendums on the European Union and they've not delivered. We've been promised a say against the overdevelopment and have not been delivered. And I think it's time, as a local man, that I can deliver for Thurrock, and if not, you can turf me out. But a change is as good as a rest. We've had the Reds, we've had the Blues, and I think now the mood is there for a change and we can deliver it.
Do you have any experience outside politics? A lot of politicians don't.
Oh, not lately. I mean, everything is politics, but I'm not perfect. Not even 30 years old. But I sat around thinking, well, nobody else is going to change things. Nobody else is knocking on my door, so I may as well go out and do it myself. I hear a lot of people that say, oh, we don't see anyone, we don't do this, we don't do that. So I say, well, why don't you go and do it? You know, when I was at the Taxpayers Alliance, you know, we'd have people that would get all these threatening letters from councils saying, you owe us 30 quid in council tax, we're going to take you to court. And I'd phone up the council and say, well, hang on, you're taking the poor old Mrs Smith to court. isn't that going to cost you a lot more than £30 you want to get back? Why don't we arrange some sort of payment scheme so that everybody's happy? So that got me into thinking, well, hang on, this, the relationship between the government and the people is wrong. It's fundamentally wrong. The government have got too powerful and the people have got powerless. So we need to change that balance, and that's what I've been working at and doing since. Do I have as much experience as I'd like? Of course not. Nobody does. You learn by doing. You learn by listening and being there for people. And if I do wrong, I'd like people to say so. And if I do right, I'd like people to say so as well. It's not a job that I'm going for. It is a service. It's a unique role in the community where, on the one hand, I'm there to represent you and make big decisions on your behalf, but I go there with your trust that you can take away from me. So I don't think you can have any experience at a substantial level to be able to do the job that would suit everyone all of the time. But I think having been elected to 2 different offices in under a year, I'm not doing bad.
Well, that concludes the interview.
Good. Do I pass?
Thank you for your time.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. They were great questions.
Thank you.